Hey guys, my name is Maria Park, and welcome to Approach the Nerd and our Batwoman, I'm losing my mind, season 2, episode 16 spoiler review. So much happened in this episode. There is a lot, actually, and I didn't think they were going to get all of this done in this episode, but they made a believer out of me. So let's just kind of do a quick recap and then talk about stuff. So, as we all learned, which we all knew because we knew that Cersei was actually really Kate Kane. Alice told her dad Jacob at the end of the last episode that Kate was alive, and gave him all the details on where he thought or where she thought Kate was, and they came up with this basic plan for this episode to kidnap her. So they kidnap her. They literally go to her home and kidnap her. Black Mask he basically created a cover story for his new daughter, who's really Kate Kane, saying that his daughter didn't die in Arkham prison, that actually she died Arkham Asylum. I believe she was in the asylum, but she actually was in rehab, and that it was like a Malibu rehab adventure. So he made like a video with her, a commercial of her selling, like, I guess it was skim cream. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the product is, but they're a cosmetics company, so it could have been anything. With her as the star, and was trying to pass it off like, hey, Kate Kane, Cersei's alive, never died, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, Jacob and Alice show up at her place, and then they kidnap her, and they are trying to trigger her memories. And what I will say is, for Alice, this was a very revealing and actually very sad episode, because she kind of won a lot, gained a lot, and then lost a lot. And what I mean by that is, she was able to reach her sister. So they wanted to have like a trigger. So when Alice, was basically buried in her mind because of Enigma, it was a picture that set her free. So she thought she'd do the same thing with Kate, because they don't know the password that Enigma used. Thanks to Ocean killing her before they can get the information. So she was able to trigger an emotion and a memory of Kate Kane's. And Kate started coming back to herself, which is actually good, because Alice always was under the impression that she didn't matter anymore to her twin. And this pretty much shows that that is not true. So she is able to get an emotional response from her. But I will say, I felt very sad for her, because I kind of knew this was coming, because Ocean met Jacob. It was a big, like, daddy meets the boyfriend moment, which was very cute. But I knew as soon as he's like, when Ocean was like, I want him to like me, I'm like, something's gonna go down. And then she's like, call me later, and he's like, okay. I literally knew he was gonna die. I don't know why. I just had this feeling that they were gonna kill him off, which is so sad. But that is exactly what happens, because Sophia is in town with Tatiana, who supposedly should be, unconscious or in a coma, because she should have the knife, the magical knife with the desert rose embedded in her body. But I guess Sophia needed her, especially when Coriana is completely destroyed. She probably needs all hands on deck. So Tatiana is back to serving Sophia. She was going around town killing people that had a connection to Black Mask. We did learn, which we already knew, that Sophia was the one that gave Black Mask Kate's flight info, which is how he got her in the first place, a revenge to Jacob killing his kid. So all this stuff Sophia is behind. And Sophia basically is holding all the cards, because she sends, false face people. Well, at least I guess Black Mask sends them, because she lets Black Mask know that Alice is actually Beth Kane, because he didn't know, to go grab Jacob and Beth. Alice pretty much freed Kate and told her to run. She's still not her entire self. So she basically told her to run, and she would find her. Well, they're held hostage. And I'm still getting a bad feeling. So I was like, I don't think they're going to kill them. And they didn't. So what ends up happening is Black Mask, who has even GCPD people working for him, And everybody in the room with Jacob was a cop, which is really messed up. It really tells you the security in Gotham sucks. I mean, like the Crows were no good. GCPD is apparently no good. I mean, no wonder there's so much crime and people like die a lot in Gotham because everybody's on the payroll. But he basically sets up Jacob by revealing that Alice is really his daughter, Beth Kane. And that he was aiding and abetting because that was his daughter. He was never arresting her. And that's why she kept, killing people and getting away with all this stuff because that was really his kid. So he gets arrested and he tells the truth that, he was helping her, but Ocean and Alice, show him that Enigma had brainwashed Alice into not being able to love. And so when he was being arrested, he basically said on TV, when you're judging Alice for her crimes, remember that she was once Beth and she's not a monster. And Alice got to see that, which I thought was cool. This goes back to me saying Alice was winning a lot at first in this episode. So she got Daddy's love back or recognition back. I don't think he ever stopped loving her as Beth, but definitely got, his sympathy back, his, empathy back, and his, wanting to be a father, relationship back to her. But the sad thing is this. So we already have Luke back, right? So Luke is upset that he is not dead. He wanted to die. He wanted to go with his dad. So he's a little bitter and he's actually acting closer to his comic book counterpart self. He is like the person that's fed up of being beat down. I mean, I've always said that if you watch the Crisis on Infinite Earth, I didn't like it, miniseries from CW, that the Luke Fox in that version was closer to how he is in the actual comic books. And I feel like this Luke is almost there. Probably one of the best parts of Crisis, honestly. But he's back and he goes to play poker. And the reason I'm saying that this is kind of a tie into Jacob's predicament is that he runs into Agent Tavaroff, or as I like to call it, Agent Teabag, at the place. He purposely goes there because he was stalking him to play poker with him. And that whole, literally he was taunting, Teabag and got him to play poker with him, embarrassed him in front of all of his friends. And I will say that Tavaroff has to have a lot of friends. If you don't have enough money and people are around you, his crew are just throwing dollars down for you. That's both weird and scary that he has that kind of clout over people. But, long story short, Luke does end up beating him. And I'll get to Diggle because he also meets Diggle in the bar. So I'll get to that in a second. And Tavaroff basically tries to take him on or beat him up at the end of when he's walking after the game in the alleyway. Diggle kind of intervenes and literally hits him so hard one time. I was like, oh, snap. I'm like, I can't wait till he's a Lantern. He's totally going to be a Lantern. But my problem is this. Agent Teabag is out on bond. And the only character witness that has a chance of putting him in jail, unfortunately, was Jacob. And now Jacob just got arrested. So that entire case is going to fall apart. And that means that Agent Tavaroff is probably going to get with GCPD or even reform his own version of the Crows. And it's about to get real really quickly in Gotham. Because without Jacob's testimony, I don't think that they're going to be able to hold him. I think he is going to be let go. And that is really messed up. So I think everything that happened in this episode is connected to something else. And it just makes me feel bad for Jacob because Jacob lost his wife, his second wife, his sister, who was Bruce's mother. And he also, for a little while, lost both of his daughters. And then Mary wasn't talking to him for a while. So he's lost a lot in his life. And he's finally, he was finally starting to get both of his daughters back. And now he's going to jail. And then he got a transfer to Metropolis. So he's going to be in jail in Metropolis. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but Jacob doesn't think they're going to be able to beat the charges. So that's a thing. Now back to Alice losing everything. So as I said, she had Ocean. She got her sister back, technically, who doesn't 100% remember everything. Pretty cool that she did actually start coming back to herself more when she saw Sophie. When Sophie's like Kate and she's like Sophie, she remembered Sophie like that. I'm like, we know why. I'm like, I'm leaving that alone. But so Alice, while she was kidnapped, her dad's going to jail. She's still, She's still feeling a little optimistic because she still has her boyfriend and her sister is back, even though daddy is going to jail because of her in a way. Then Sophia is standing there. And so what's ironic to me is that Ryan comes up with the idea to give her the desert rose. And of course she does. That's why we keep seeing the desert rose. She's going to give Sophia the desert rose so she can restart and regrow her kingdom, since Coriana is completely dead. And apparently 9 villages were slaughtered. And she told Alice to add that to her list. But they want to trade the desert rose for Alice so Alice can bring back Kate's memories. But as they were leaving, and Alice was saying, you are the queen, but I'm the one that has everything. And she's like, yeah, there you go again, thinking you deserve stuff. That's basically how it is. And Alice looks at her and she's like, what did you do? And she puts it together she's like, where's Tatiana? And she puts it together that she sent Tatiana to go kill Ocean. Now, this is what's confusing for me. Ocean trained Alice to fight. So Alice is a very good fighter. And when Alice got to the little subway area they were, hanging out and staying at, she had no problem taking Tatiana out. How did Ocean go down? I'm just really curious. Did she have to drug him first? I don't really see Ocean dying that easily, but unfortunately Alice, so Tatiana dropped out of this vent in the ceiling and was trying to stab Alice with the magic knife to put her in a coma. Cause Sophia is in love with Alice, so she wasn't gonna let her die. And Sophia turned the tables on Tatiana and then actually, killed her, stabbed her in the neck with a real knife and said, oops, not the magic knife. But when she goes into the little subway cart thing, Ocean was there with his throat cut. And you just see Alice lose it. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad. And another thing that I thought was interesting is that Ryan did not seem to care that Ocean was about to be assassinated by Tatiana. Because she said, we have to go find Ocean. And she's like, I'm not here to find your boyfriend. I'm like, no, you're Batwoman. You need to go save somebody's life. What the hell? So that was really interesting too. So I'm always nitpicking because I have to. I just have to do it, guys. But yeah, so Ocean is dead. Her dad has gone to jail. So even though I feel like they're trying to redeem Alice, I kind of feel like they're going to push her back over the edge with all the crap that's happening. And it's a lot. It is a lot. And I will say, first of all, Mary's reaction to all of this stuff in the episode was very funny. She's like, Kate's alive? Wait, my dad is with Alice? Wait, what? And she's like, everything's like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. She is so manic right now. It is absolutely hilarious to watch. And Jacob, actually, his last words to Mary before he said, I love you, is, you have to save your sisters. So she has to save both of the twins now, even though she lost so much to Alice and Alice killed her mom. Jacob asked her to basically save, 100% save Alice and Kate. And he's like, I'm trusting you. You're the one that I don't worry about. And I love you. And she's like, no pressure. And I felt bad because this chick did kill Mary's mom. Not to say Mary's mom wasn't devious, because she was, but yeah, that's trauma. So Mary's in a very interesting predicament. Back to Luke. Again, I said, Luke does not care to be alive. He even told Ryan, I did not want to be saved. You guys took it upon yourself to do it. I wanted to go stay with my dad. Why would I want to come back here? And just why should I? It's not, I got shot, but it's going to happen again. It's just a matter of when, basically. And it's he's just done. He is given up. And I love his interactions with Diggle, because Diggle doesn't tell him anything. He sees the bat symbol, but we all know that Diggle knows about Kate Kane and all of that stuff. And he never lets it on that he, was with Team Arrow and all the stuff with Crisis and all that. So Luke right now doesn't even understand who Diggle is, which is interesting that Kate never brought up anybody else from Crisis to her team, but whatever. But one thing I thought was interesting, and I know that they had released the article about how when he got the Green Lantern ring, it seems he turned it down, and now he's having neurological issues. Apparently the article said something about hearing voices, so it's probably the ring saying, choose me, choose me. And he came to Gotham actually to see a top neurologist for the pain. And he's like, I get mind fog or whatever. And I think it's actually just the ring, because he's not accepting the fact that it chose him. And this is going to be an interesting journey. And I'm very interested to see how that plays out, since this is his first, cameo guest appearance. I know he's going to Superman and Lois, and I'm really interested to see what he's doing there. So I'm really happy. I love the interaction with Diggle, and like I said, that one hit that Diggle hit, he took Agent Teabag one time, and dude was like, "Nah, I'm not messing with you." I'm like, just one time. I'm like, you don't know who you messing with. He needs to train Luke. Luke didn't do too bad, but yeah, he was getting his butt kicked. It's just what it is. All right, so because I really did enjoy this episode. So the whole thing again with Kate. I knew she was going to do this. Sophie was watching her and she's like, can you go get this vodka or some, I think it was vodka out of my, office desk drawer. And then she goes back to Black Mask and she's sitting in the chair and she's like, am I Kate Kane? And she's talking about, how she has all the memories and she stabs him right through the hand. And he's like, no, you're just having a break. We need to do our exercise. And Sophia's like, no, you tell her the truth or I will. I believe a woman has the right to choose. Now, this is going to go one of two ways. Either she's going to be re-brainwashed or she's going to end up, well, I guess three ways. She's either going to go back to them, be re-brainwashed, or she's going to play both sides. But it did look like in the preview that Ryan was giving her the bat suit and she was going back to live in her van. Why would she go back to live in her van, though? She can't work at the club anymore. Like, she can still be roommates with Mary, wherever Mary goes. Why is she living back in her van? That's kind of weird. I'm just putting it out there because there's a shot of her in the van again. So I don't know what that's about. And at this point, she should have saved enough money to be able to get an apartment. I don't know. I guess we'll see more next week. But that whole situation was very, very strange. But I just kind of feel like I think Kate is going to try to be Batwoman, but I don't think she's going to stay as Batwoman. Now, what would be cool to me, if they go by the comics, she could be Flamebird. I mean, I know technically Flamebird was, I believe it was Bet. I have to go back and look. It's been a minute, but it was Jacob's cousin who was Flamebird. So if they keep her around in a hero capacity, she really could be Flamebird. And that wouldn't be a problem because it's not an established, character. And she'd be like the person that would come help out whenever Batwoman would need it. And that would keep Kate Kane around. Because I don't want them to get rid of Kate Kane. Because I'm going to be real with you. I like Kate. But Wallace is a very good actress. And I kind of like her Kate better. And I actually feel like her and Sophie have chemistry. Because with Ruby Rose, it just felt so wooden on her side. Not to say that her and Sophie were not cute visually. It was the fact that Ruby always seemed bothered by everybody as Kate Kane. And like this one's actually got a lot more emotion and more humanity. If that makes sense. The actress is just better at conveying it. That's all I'm saying. And so I actually am very curious to see what a relationship between this Kate Kane and Sophie would look like. Because I'm here for it. And honestly, they keep talking about her face. I'm like, she looks more like Alice's actress, in real life than Ruby did. I mean, they look like they could be twin sisters. So I'm just throwing it out there. The recap is Ocean is dead. Jacob's going to jail and he's in Metropolis. He's about to stand trial. Agent Teabag's about to be freed of all charges because Jacob was the witness. I mean, that's what's going to happen. This guy is going to get off. And I think that I really believe he's going to be Luke's big antagonist, which is fine with me. Batwing needs to have somebody to fight. And I mean, what better than the man who shot him and tried to frame him for it? Sophia is proven to be very formidable. Once again, I'm glad they did this with her because they made her kind of weak before. She did some underhanded things and you saw what she was capable of in flashbacks. But now you're seeing the Sophia that Alice was scared of. Because, they always made it seem like in season 1, she's like, Sophia, Sophia's coming to kill all my people or Sophia's after us. And it always, like, knowing that Sophia was obsessed with Alice and was even in love with Alice, it wasn't a big threat. But now you're seeing what happens when you tick her off. And she just has no problem killing people. So she considered Ocean a brother and she had his throat cut. She's not playing around. She's just not. And we have, the whole thing going on with kind of Mary, because Mary is literally in the middle of all of this once again. I feel so bad. Even when Kate was in her mind fighting, evil Cersei basically, and she was taking over her mind, Kate literally jumped on Mary and was choking the life out of her. And I'm like, yep, she's not Mary down and was choking her. Like, and if you remember in season 1, Mary always felt like she was the last one Kate would ever, confide in, the last one to know she was Batwoman. So she already has this inferiority complex with Alice, and that's before Alice killed Mary's mom. So I think it's going to be very hard for her to be the person that helps Alice as well as Kate. So like I said, there's a lot going on in Gotham right now. They crammed a lot of stuff in, and it actually flowed very well, and I'm here for it. And I cannot wait till next Sunday because this stuff is getting real. So Batwoman will definitely be an after show thing for us because I'm super excited whenever stuff like this happens. And the last few episodes have been the best. I feel like this season, has been one of the best seasons, especially when they came back from break. They really picked up the pace, and I really like what they've done with this season. I'm really curious to see how they resolve the whole Ryan and Kate Batwoman dilemma, because that's what it is. But I mean, I already know that. I know for a fact that Ryan is going to be Batwoman, because there's no way they're going to take Batwoman back, during Black Lives Matter and give it back to a white woman. That's not going to happen. Even though it was originally hers, it's just not going to happen. But I am here for her being Flamebird, and she's not going to be Flamebird. Then she can be the older, like the Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond counterpart to Ryan that, Bruce Wayne was to Terry. I would love for her to be the mentor. I think that's completely fine. She needs to train her too, because Tatiana was beating the crap out of Ryan in this episode. She's been getting her butt handed to her a lot, so she really needs to train a little bit more. Just putting that out there. But yeah, very, very good episode. Let's see. This season of Batwoman has been really good. I absolutely agree with that. The episode made Ryan look bad as a hero. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's not just this episode. She will walk away when people are getting about to be killed. And like with Alice, she did it because Alice, of course, aided with her mother being murdered, or didn't really aid. She just didn't do anything about it. Her guys did it. And so she blames Alice because it was Alice's men, even though technically Alice did not order them to kill her mom. They were just squatting in the apartment when they walked in. But still guilty by association. But I don't know. I feel like Ryan does do that. Ryan kind of walks away, and Ryan's like, yeah, that's your problem, not mine. And I mean, for her to do that with Ocean is really weird, because what beef does she have with Ocean? Ocean never tried to attack her or kill her or fight her or anything. She doesn't know. She really doesn't know Ocean that well. I mean, yeah, maybe he had a connection to her, I guess now ex-girlfriend. But let's be real about this. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing to her. And she had no problem saying, I'm not here to find your boyfriend. Even though literally unless you're an idiot, you understand that Tatiana was sent to kill him. You are Batwoman. What the hell is wrong with you? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I do love the whole connection with Ryan, where Ryan says, I'm sorry you went through that. And I don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes, but I don't feel sorry for saving you because you can't leave me. I love that. But let's be clear, the person that talked Luke off the edge was Diggle. And I think that was awesome. Where's Luke going to get the Batwing suit from? He's going to make it. That's what he's going to do. Because, he's got all his dad's blueprints. He's going to make his suit. That's my theory. That, or he's going to call Cisco. Like, you work for Argus now? Make me a suit. And I would love to have Luke and Cisco meet up. I think if I was excited for a crossover, it would literally be for Cisco and Luke to meet, and maybe Pat to meet from Stargirl, like have all of them together. I think would be kind of cool. I would like to see the nerds meet together before the superheroes. I think that would be very cool. I would love to see how that played out. I'd also like for Barry Allen to visit Gotham so he can get an education on how he screws up sometimes. Like, just saying. Running gag, every Susan Jacob gets thrown in prison by a villain. He either gets thrown in prison, somebody hits him in his head, he is kidnapped or drugged. Like, literally, that's Jacob. I don't even know how Jacob has good health at this point because of all of the stuff that has happened to him. He literally should be dead. But his daughters are Bebe's kids. They don't die, they multiply. Like, literally. I don't know how they keep coming back. Kate's not dead. She's just got a new face. Alice is not dead. She just had the ability to love taken away from her and made literally into Alice from Wonderland. psychotic. I'm like, I guess we're not going to get Red Alice, but we could get Red Alice as a vengeance ploy against Sophia, because now that we know that Sophia set Tatiana to kill Ocean and Tatiana did it, she's going to go after Sophia. I want to know how one Desert Rose is going to literally start a brand new island. And if Sophia is so unhappy about being tied to this island, and you're finally free from your obligations because Coriana is gone, why are you in your feelings about the island being gone? I mean, you are free. You're no longer there. You don't have to guard these flowers anymore. You don't have to give up your freedom. You can go and live your life. It's just really weird. I understand that was her family legacy, but they've established earlier in the season that the reason Sophia is the way she is, the reason she keeps people on that island, doesn't let them leave, is because she's lonely and doesn't want to be left there because she can't leave. You can leave now. The island is dead. Your role as a guardian is gone. It's over. Why are you not embracing that? And why are you not just going off and living your best life? I don't understand that at all. I really don't. I don't. Or he's tied to a chair. Yeah, like I said, I mean, that somebody should make a drinking game about how many times Jacob has been kidnapped, stabbed, tied to a chair. I mean, he literally is like one of the damsels. He's always saved by Batwoman. It's always Jacob. I thought with Kate Kane not being Batwoman anymore, that would stop, but no. I mean, even Ryan has to save Jacob a few times. It's just, I don't get it. I also don't buy that he was able to be beat down by all those false-faced youngsters, because I feel like all the training that Jacob has had should have put him in a position to beat all of their butts. Like I said, the problem that I'm having in this episode is that Ocean went down so easy, because I really feel like he could have taken on Tatiana, especially with his memories back. That means he is an excellent fighter. And I mean, it took Alice 10 seconds to disarm her and then kill her. I don't understand how Ocean was able to be killed by Tatiana. The only thing I can think of is that she stabbed him from behind with the magic knife and then slit his throat because he was immobile. That's the only way I'm going to buy that actually happened, because I feel like he could have overpowered Tatiana very easily. So, I mean, there's a reason that he was training people on the island for Sophia. He is that good. And so I'm having a hard time suspending my disbelief on that. But they needed to have Ocean die in some way, because we needed to have that happen to Alice so she can experience loss once again. Even though she's on her way to a redemption arc, I feel like this is the make or break moment. Will she turn back to her very evil, very cruel ways because of the heartbreak, or will she take a different path or route? I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a thing. It is definitely a thing. I mean, like I said, I just have a lot of theories, but I mean, this has established for me, to recap again, Agent Tavaroff, aka Agent Teabag, he's going to be freed of these charges. I don't know what this means for Luke, if that means he's going to be again under suspicion of being the one holding the gun, and then being arrested because that gun is connected to another crime, or basically set up, or if this means maybe Agent Teabag will go to jail for something else. I don't know. I just think that having Jacob be the one that was going to speak out against him in court during his trial, and now he's arrested, that calls his character into question. And that means that there's a good chance that he will get off. And that's very bothering for me. Jacob is the Jerry Smith of this show. I agree. Sophie had one job and she couldn't even do that. I know. What's your woman? I mean, God, she just came back to life. What is wrong with you? I mean, you had one job. But to be fair, Kate used the little I love you voice. Like, there's a bottle of vodka in my office. You mind getting it for me? She did that little low, sultry, why take care of me voice. And Sophie was like, oh, yeah, I got you, babe. I'll get you. You want me to cook you a turkey raw? I'll go right there and make it right now. You want a pie? I'll bake it from scratch. I'm like, that's literally what she did. But again, I do think it's cute that she instantly recognized Sophie. So that gives me, I love it. I need her to stay around, because if she doesn't stay around, they're going to hook up Sophie with Ryan. And I'm going to be like Bat Chaser. Hashtag Bat Chaser is what Sophie's character has become. And I really like the actress a lot. And I really think the character has a lot of potential. But her whole role for me will be changed from very strong, very independent, very smart, very sexy and beautiful Black woman to a bat chaser. Because that's what she's going to be. She chases the bat. So they need to fix that. They need to fix it. But like I said, I am very excited for what's to come. And what I like about Wallace Day is actually a bisexual in real life, just like Ryan. So I like that they keep casting LGBT members. This is probably the first series where they have not one, not two, but three. Now they have 3 LGBT characters in one show. Potentially 4, because Wolf Spider is. And if he becomes a reoccurring character too, which I really hope he does, because Team Bat needs to have a little bit, they need more people. When we saw them working on the computer today and Mary was like pushing buttons and Ryan was like, well, let me try some stuff too. I'm like, this is a mess. And I told you guys, without Luke, they can't do anything. They can barely function. Mary tried, but you were not, I refuse to believe that she's gotten the computer skills that quickly from Luke to do anything. So the little bit she has done, I am impressed, but she's not Luke. I do like that she admitted she outsourced some of the hacking things to Sophie. Like, of course she did. And I think Sophie will definitely be on Team Bat as well. But I am so excited for the next episode because I need to see the transition and I need to know why Ryan's living in her damn car. That makes no sense. That to me is probably going to be already the hardest thing for me to swallow. Because I refuse to believe, unless she did this of her own volition, that she was like, I don't want to take handouts from you, Mary. I need to go find my own life. I'm going to go back to where I started. I'm going to go live in my van. Unless that is the thing, I cannot subscribe to her, Mary or Luke, allowing her to be homeless again. I'm not buying that. So I'm hoping that this whole trailer or promo for next week is all just subjective and basically throwing the cloth over our eyes that maybe she is living with Mary still and she's just doing something in the van. I don't want to believe that when she gave the bat suit back that her whole livelihood was threatened, everything about her was threatened, and she's just out on her butt. Thanks for being Batwoman, holler. I mean, it's just because I guess without the Batwoman title, you don't have an apartment or a job, because she was also a manager of the bar. And yeah, it's Kate's bar, but still, you need a manager. So I don't want to believe that they just threw her out on her butt like that. But that's how the preview makes it look. But I think it's full of crap. So, yeah. Batwoman. Excited. Cannot wait for next week. But I want to know what you guys think. So we are at 32 minutes. I'm going to cut the stream short, but please leave me a comment below if you're watching this later, or even if you're in here right now and you have some questions, you have some theories on what's going to happen. Please let me know, because I would love to discuss this, because this was a really good episode. Like I said, Batwoman season 2 has not really been letting me down. I would just say Ryan's been making some questionable choices of the hero, but it has not been letting me down in terms of entertainment. I am always looking forward to the next episode. And now that I know Batwing is coming, I'm even more excited. So yes, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we can talk about it. And I will be doing a Legends of Tomorrow back-to-back episode 5, 6 review, because I need to catch up. So please tune into that. It's at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on tomorrow. So if you're able to hop in, please do, because we're going to have fun. Legends on crack. So I got to talk about it. But yeah, love you guys. If it's a day for you, have a good day. If it's evening, have a good night. And I will see you guys tomorrow.